Peace forever and always, and welcome to another edition of what we call the Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. I am the gatekeeper, host of this program, known here on social media. Wherever you may find me, I am known as the mighty Angel Snub 7. I am your soul brother. Number one, I want to make this quick commentary. There are those who really, they want Black Americans, foundation of Black Americans in this nation. I call us soul brothers and sisters. They want us to be or identify ourselves as Africans. This is not a new idea. This is a very old idea. And within the next last few decades, it is an identity that many of us, for whatever reason, we begin to reject. We no longer identify with Africa. And this makes those who are Pan-Africans, that makes those who are part of the religion, because it's turned into a religion, because you got to believe, because your facts really don't back up what you say. So you have to believe. You believe that the black man and woman in America are some type of descendants from Africa, even though we have never lived in Africa. Well, you don't have to live in Africa to be an African. That's not what Africans say. How are you going to say that you are African just because you're a descendant of an African? There are animals who are descendants or related to elephants. They are not elephants. There are animals who are related to ants, descended from ants, but they are not ants. This people was created in America. America is all we know. It is no surprise, and it should not be shocking that you cannot identify with nothing outside of America, because that's who and what we are. That's all that we know for the last 500 years. Well, Malcolm said there's a lot of things Malcolm didn't know. There's a lot of things Malcolm X and others and Marcus Garvey, they did not know. They had to talk about what was within the parameters or the diameters of their knowledge at that time. You cannot continue to say and act upon something when now you have different knowledge, different evidence, and you have a different understanding of things. Their knowledge was limited in 1930. Their knowledge was limited to 1965. This is 2024, and there are facts. There are facts that we have to consider in order to come to the correct conclusion. Otherwise, it's a belief. And this thing, this identity, calling the Black American and African, is and have turned into a religion. It has turned into a belief. And I began to realize this way back in 2009 for myself, of which I really wasn't prone to calling myself some type of African, because, as you know, I was raised within the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and he did not teach that the black man and woman of America was Africans. We were descendants, or we are of the family of the tribe of Shabazz, of which is more unproven, nonsensical fairy tale nonsense. There are factors that we must consider in order to come to the correct conclusion. The first European explorers that came to America, according to their paintings of the native people, they were dark-skinned, and they even looked like and were similar to Africans. The original, the native people here. And even if you go back to the 1800s or whatever, you will see some of the original portraits. Some of those people, those Native Americans, were very dark-skinned type people. They were not this Native American that you see, this red man that's described or shown in cowboy movies and things of this nature. There were over 700 tribes of Native Americans in this country. We can barely name 5 or 10. Now, this is factual. We cannot ignore the information if you do your research. You only do your research and you only get enough information to support your narrative. But if you want the truth, any type of evidence that comes up, you must consider it if you want the truth. If you want to continue to tell a lie, that's your business. Whether I like it or not, whether you like it or not, it is what it is. The Native American was classified in this country as Indian, as Negro, as colored, as African. What other people have been identified in this manner? The black, the so-called black American. We cannot ignore these facts that the native people, so when you say we are African because the white man called us African in this country already here, or because we were taken from some land on the African continent? These are facts that we must put together and deal with. Dealing with our identity, we must accept the fact that many of us are connected to breeding farms. We don't know who we connected to. We know that our people were sold, our families was broken up and sold from plantation to plantation. And then we began to adopt, in which we still continue that same type of behavior. We adopt other people and call them family members, and they are not biologically related to us. But this is what has been going on for hundreds of years. So we always talk about the biology. Our biology, we don't even know our biology. We don't know where we come from. Because our people were sold and our families broken up. We cannot ignore this fact. They said, the only thing we have to do is take an African DNA test. African DNA test is nothing but quackery. It's just modern day quackery. They know that you want to identify with somebody, so they made up these bull crap tests to make you happy and make hundreds and thousands of dollars off of you. There was a woman who sent her dog DNA to one of these DNA ancestry places. And the dog had European ancestry, German and Slavic or some crap. Anybody who is familiar with genetics, you can only go so far. You cannot go back hundreds and thousands of years. That's a damn lie. And even based upon the lie that they give you, you still not pure. You 50% that, 20% this, 30% that, 10%. You're still not pure. The black American is not a pure nothing. You're not a pure African. You're not a pure native. You're not a pure None of these things. We have become our own people. That's what we have done, and that's something that you want to try to put yourself in a place where you don't belong, and they're not going to accept you. You need to, I'm also told that if you don't call yourself an African, we cannot claim reparations. That's a lie. As long as you are a descendant of those who were enslaved, you can claim reparations. You don't have to call yourself no African. As long as you are a descendant of those who were victims of the atrocity. You don't have to prove that well, I take that back. Yes, you do. You have to be a descendant, and it has to be reasonable that you are a descendant. Now, see, they know that the average black man and woman in this country, you can't go back hundreds of years. There's no paperwork. They did not keep records like that on African Americans, slaves, to go back hundreds and hundreds of years. But one thing for sure, what the hell you look like? What the hell am I doing here like that, living in this country? Because I damn sure didn't come from Africa. You put the burden on them. Well, you put the burden. I'm telling you, I am a descendant. You prove I came from some damn Africa. I am a descendant of those who suffered Jim Crow. And Jim Crow should be part of reparation, lasting over 100 years. And, of course, chattel slavery in this nation lasted over 300 years. So they want you to go to Africa because you are African. But these who are talking that, they're not going to know Africa. They go to visit. It's nothing but a tourist attraction to them. They're not really serious. I'm to go to Africa. And those who are claiming that they are Native Americans, you don't see them trying to, and some of them are trying to get on a reservation, and those people do not want you. The Africans do not want you. You can come there and be a tourist and give them your money, and you can try to get on a reservation. They don't want you to come and try to take the little that they got. They don't want you there. You want us to be Africans, but the Africans are risking their life to lead the whole continent. If Africa is so good, why are there people born on the continent willing to risk their life to go to Europe, willing to risk their life to come to the United States? Risk their life. You're not willing to risk your life to go to Africa, to none of them countries. You're not willing to risk your life. You go to family-friendly African nations. Those Africans skinning and grinning in your face. You ain't gonna mess with those African people that tell you in your face, I don't like you. You're not no African. You are Tubar. You the white man. It's all a show. It's all a fake show. And it's a damn lie. It's false. So the Africans who were born on the African continent, what are they coming here for? They are coming here to be Americans. They don't want to be Africans. They are coming here to be Americans. You can't be African here. You can't be Chinese here. When it's all said and done, you are an American. And if you're not American, these people can kick your ass and take you and force you to go back to wherever the hell you came from. And so every year, there are thousands, if not millions, of people from other countries. They take the test to become a citizen of the United States, And you can call yourself African American, but damn it, you're American. And if this nation goes to war, they expect you to pick up your gun, your bombs, send your children to the battlefield. because you're an American. You're here now. You want to be an African, you want to be a Chinese, you want to be an Irish, whatever the hell. These people here are Americans. They don't claim to be descendants of no England or wherever they come from. I am an American. And many of the brothers and sisters, black men and women in this country who have been here since the beginning, I am an American. They don't want to hear all that. I'm an African American or Native. I am an American. And this is the problem you have trying with this identity, this religion, because none of you can prove your point. None of you can prove that the black man and woman, soul brothers and sisters in this country, you can't prove that we are some type of unknown, unspecified African. African, Native American are relative terms. Who the hell you trying to be? That's your confusion. But this is it. Since we are now a free people, what is wrong with us identifying ourselves according to who and what we are now? We can carry the blood of Native Americans. We can carry the blood of Africans because we know that we're not Europeans. But because of our condition, we understand we have turned and been created a brand new people. And we're not this and we're not that. We're a little bit of this, we're a little bit of that, but we're none of it because we have created our own subculture within the dominant society, as Tariq Nasheed would say. We are now our own people. And I suggest, and I say, stop trying to fit in with these other suckers. Because when you try to fit in with these other suckers, then you have to qualify within their criteria what their identity is. But I say that you embrace yourself and you don't have to worry about trying to be some African. You don't have to worry about trying to be some Native American. You can just be yourself. You don't have to fit into nobody else's glass. So I say, or I identify myself, and I say, and I push, the identity should be soul brothers and sisters because it was used, the identity came from us, and we can make it whatever we want it to be. It takes us up out of all that garbage, the race garbage and the African and the Native American garbage. You can now be you. And you don't have to identify as a Choctaw. You don't have to worry about being from the tribe, some Indian tribe from Mississippi. You don't have to worry about being a descendant from somebody from Nigeria. No, I am a soul brother and sister. I am in this country, a citizen of this nation called America. I am a descendant of the victims of chattel slavery. Within my gene pool, there are Africans. Within my gene pool, there are Native Americans in my bloodline. But I am who I am now, and I dictate. Because that don't exist no more. You trying to go where you ain't never been. You ain't never been part of that. It's just like people that leave Mississippi and go to California. Yes, you are in California now, but Mississippi is no longer part of you. This is a brand new day, a brand new life. Do that mean that you forget that? Mississippi? No. And that's the same way it is with us here. We can recognize those parts of us, but we're not that no more.